Hey everybody, my name is Amber Kuiper. I am the founder and leader of Koinonia Athletic. I am also the blogger behind mommiesmetime.com, and I have 4 young kids. And today I am excited to tell you all about why Beachbody is not a pyramid scheme. So I think the term pyramid scheme gets thrown quite often, and unfortunately it gets thrown around quite a bit whenever we hear about multi-level marketing. And I think the reason for this is that people just aren't educated about what a pyramid scheme really is. And so they throw it around. In fact, just a couple months ago, I was with a friend and she said, "Oh, you don't need that you don't need those pyramid schemes. You don't need that." And honestly, I know she meant really nothing by it, but at the same time, it just sort of pierced my heart a little bit because I realized she doesn't think well of this. She doesn't think that this is a legit thing. And so that can be difficult. But I think what we need to do is take a step back and say, what is a pyramid scheme? Because I really think it's just about educating people on what it is. And so I'm going to read it word for word for you. And then I'll explain what a pyramid scheme is. So a pyramid scheme is an unsustainable and often illegal business model that involves promising participants payment or services primarily for enrolling other people into the program rather than supplying any real investment or sale of products or services to the public. So let me break that down. So that means what they're saying is in a pyramid scheme, someone is at the top, and what they are doing on a daily basis is saying, okay, if you enroll, I will give you this much of an investment. And if you enroll 2 more people, you'll get this much of a cut. And so then you can see that everyone who is higher up in the pyramid is going to make more money than the people who keep joining. And so along with that is they are not actually selling anything. They're claiming to sell either an investment or they are claiming to sell a product or a service, but it doesn't actually exist. And so obviously Beachbody, even from that short example, is not a pyramid scheme. Beachbody is definitely selling a solid product to the public. And furthermore, the people who are at the top of the Beachbody chain are not necessarily making more money than the people at the bottom. Let me tell you why and how that could be the case. So let's say right now I am at the top of our organization, right? I am at the top of the pyramid, so to speak. And so let's say tomorrow I decided, you know what, I'm going to call it quits, guys. I'm just not cut out for this coaching thing. I'm not going to do this anymore. What would happen to the people below me? Well, actually, they could surpass me. They could go on and succeed in the business. They could even go and surpass me while I'm coaching. And so I just want to affirm to you that this is, again, not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not about winning the lottery. This is about putting in some work, putting in some time and energy into really helping people and lending your hand out to them. And that is what's going to make you successful. So if you are worried about it being a pyramid scheme, it is not. I would never, ever in my life join anything that was not 100%, filled with integrity. And I can tell you, I have talked with people from Beachbody Corporate now that I have grown my business. And what's always the most impressive thing to me is that they constantly are talking about how do we make this world a healthier place. They're not talking about how do we make more money. Certainly that's part of it. Certainly that's a benefit to this whole business. But their first and foremost goal is to really, how do you get people to be healthy? So with that said, okay, so we've ruled out that it's not a pyramid scheme. However, that doesn't mean that we might have to face some adversity along the way by our friends and family who may not look at multi-level marketing in the same way that we do. Because let's face it, no matter how hard we try to sell this concept on some people, they're just not going to understand. I'm reading a book right now, and it's called GoPro by Eric Worre. And it's something that I am going to be buying for my top coaches within the next month because it is so powerful into learning how to really be a successful Beachbody coach. And one thing that I have learned already, and it just struck a chord in my heart, is this sentence. You must accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? I think what it means is that not everyone is going to get why multi-level marketing is so awesome. Not everyone is going to say, yes, that is the best thing in the world, because let's face it, so many people still sit at desks and report to a boss. So many people still have a cap to their salary every single day because they don't believe in something like this. They don't believe that it works. Well, I'm here to tell you it does. And I'm here to tell you that I have now reached a point where I don't really care what other people say because I have experienced the success that comes along with working hard. Quite honestly, a year ago, I would have never expected to be in the place where I'm at today. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was not contributing to our family, and we were okay with that. We just kind of assumed that I would be at home and I would not have to really think about making money. We had adjusted to living on my husband's salary. Well, then this came along and I realized, wow, like I can do what I love to do, which is encouraging and helping other people. And I can also add to our family's financial situation. Like that sounds really cool. And what I what I decided was when I started my first week, honestly, you guys, I was like, I'm just so excited to help people. Let's get this going. And I realized that, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I had several people signed up. I didn't care about what I was making, but all of a sudden my business started to grow because I was having so much fun and because my passion and my fire was so there and ready to go. I was able to grow a successful business. So much so that now we have just built a new house. The basement is getting finished this week. And we never, quite honestly, would have thought about doing something like this before I became a coach. Now, I don't yell that to the world. I don't shout that from the mountaintops because it really was never about the money for me, and it still isn't. But I'm just here to tell you that there is significant opportunity for financial freedom by being a coach and by being a coach that takes this seriously. And part of that, again, is like this author says, you must accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. That means when you're starting out the business, you might have some of those naysayers that say, oh, it's just a pyramid scheme. And you know what? You're going to have tougher skin than that to let that affect you. You're going to have to say, you know what? You might think that, but it's not. And I know that in my heart. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I promise you it'll pay off. I promise that a couple years from now, when you are really successful making six figures, those people might question a little bit that they called it a pyramid scheme. And so that's my encouragement for you today is if you are held up by this being a pyramid scheme, I just would ask you to take a second look at that, and I would ask you, what are your motives? Is it pride? Do you not want to do this because you're a little bit scared of being in multi-level marketing? Because I promise you that it is going to be so much fun for you to see the success you can have if you can get beyond those few reservations. So I would love to answer any questions you might have about this and how I kind of overcame my sensitivity when people would sort of think about this as a pyramid scheme. But I'm super confident in this program, you guys, and I would love, love, love to have you join us in really helping make the world a better and healthier place.